The next 90 minutes is going to change your life forever. In today's video, I'm about to share 90 minutes of the marketing-a-thon guide that me and Rick gave in the mastermind. And this is a comprehensive presentation on every aspect of marketing for wholesaling real estate. I cannot stress this enough. Marketing is the lifeline of your business for wholesaling real estate. Without marketing, your acquisitions, your dispositions, it all means nothing. This is why for the next 90 minutes, I'm giving my heart and soul the best content out there when it comes to the right lists, marketing channels, tactics, where to market, how to market, every which way of marketing in real estate wholesaling. In the next 90 minutes, me and Rick are going to go over exactly what you need to do for wholesaling real estate success. If you got money, you don't have money, this is going to be the presentation that can change your life forever. So many people give excuses of, I can't find leads, I can't find leads, I can't find lists, the lists are too saturated, I'm in a very tough market. Oh, I'm virtual, I'm not virtual, I'm in person. The truth is, if you are alive right now, if you are breathing, you have enough energy and knowledge after the next 90 minutes to go out here and find motivated sellers all by yourself. The question is, I'm giving you the knowledge, I'm giving you the keys. The thing is, are you gonna go out there and actually do something with it? Take some time out of your day, write notes, and get an action plan with this information I'm about to give. This is literally $5,000 of marketing information I could sell to thousands of people and make hundreds of thousands of dollars just selling a course like this for marketing, but I give it all for free. Do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe. I hope you get some value out of this, and let's get marketing, guys.
Here to teach. So let's break it down. Let's get it going. Let's break down marketing step by step here. So
hey guys, this is literally my favorite topic. It's what
This is why
I
live,
eat, and breathe, and it's, dude, 20 years I'm about to unload on you here. So pay attention. Let's talk about marketing. We really want to focus on marketing. There's so much we can talk about. Let's just jump into it.
Let's get it. So number one here, let's kind of talk about this. So what is marketing at the end of the day? So like, what is marketing? Marketing, in my opinion, comes down to two things in your opinion, which is
connecting with motivated sellers.
That's it. And lists and marketing channels.
Correct.
So right here, guys, I'm telling you, lists and marketing channels. So you got to connect with their sellers through pulling lists and getting the marketing channels going. I'm telling you. So these are the two things we're focusing on today: how to pull the right lists, and then lastly, the right marketing channels for it. I'm excited. What do you have to add on that?
Well, before we get started, you guys have to understand the fundamentals of marketing. Okay. The whole goal of marketing is to connect with a prospect and engage them.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, there are some rules. You got to keep it legal. You got to keep it that ethical, but understanding your goal is to switch from a solicitation to a conversation. That is it. The biggest mistake I see in marketing is people want to explain all their services either on a postcard, a letter, or you get them on the phone and you just want to dump on them. It's the actual opposite way you do it. The less information you give them, you want to pique their interest and you want them to reach out and go, man, I got to figure this out. I got 7 postcards here. Or this guy called me and asked me this. And the idea is to engage a curious conversation. If the marketing does not achieve that, you are failing at marketing. So at the end of the day, I've invested millions of dollars in marketing. Those are the only questions I ask. How am I going to engage my prospect legally and ethically? And if you look at every form we're talking about today, marketing medium, that's what you need to address.
I'm telling you right now. So this kind of brings us back to the next question here is, like, why is marketing important? And you've stressed this so many times, and I've stressed this so many times. Oops. I don't think the other camera's on right now, but I don't know. I think we got to connect that later. But so why is marketing important? I'm telling you right now, at the end of the day, marketing is important because it is the lifeline of your wholesaling operations. Say this one more time. Marketing is the lifeline of your wholesaling operations.
It's the blood.
It's the blood of the operations. So if out marketing, how are you going to be good at acquisitions? How are you actually going out? How are you going to go out here and get leads? Because I say this 9 times out of 10. It's sort of like football in a sense where you can pretty much survive in football with a mediocre offense, but with a really good defense. Please. But like, it's really hard to have a very bad defense and a decent offense. So at the end of the day is in marketing, this happens every single time for wholesaling. And I've seen this every single time is I've seen people with elite acquisition skills
Mhm.
with terrible marketing absolutely tank and lose out in this business. And
Yeah.
I see people who are just, they're okay at acquisitions, like they can get through it, but they're elite at their marketing and they are millionaires. So what you have to understand is marketing is going to be the most important part in this business. I'm telling you, without marketing, you are doomed.
Guys, marketing is it. And I will tell you, we've watched an innovation really over the last 7 to 8 years where, hey, just copy this and do that. And it'll work. It'll get you through it. But at some point, you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to look at your data, see if you're getting
They're
appointments,
marketing
contracts.
gimmicks. They're
And
marketing gimmicks.
you have to stay ahead of it. I have spent my entire career in wholesaling. I am always 2 steps ahead of marketing. I took a 2-year period and I fell asleep and I just duplicated what was working, and it caused me a lot of problems. So all the products, everything I've created for marketing has been just like cutting edge, and they solely factor on one thing: how can I engage my prospect? And I look at it like a child. How can I ask a curious question and have them respond back to me without getting my butt chewed out, type of deal? So you have to do that. We talk. Well, we'll get into it. We'll talk about each one when we'll go.
Yeah,
into it.
we'll break it down. I'm telling you, marketing is the lifeline of your business right now. It's going to be super important to do right now. So this kind of brings us back to the next question. Is like, so let's break down everything you need to know about marketing. So let's talk about lists first, because it's list and marketing channels, right? So let's kind of break down the list really quick, and then we get into the marketing channels types. So what are the type of lists that work really good for wholesaling? Like, what are the best ones? And lists really, you can put them into 2 categories. I've said this a million times. It's free and paid. Either you're going to get a free list or you have to pay for the list. Now, some of the best lists are free and some of the best lists are paid. It really depends on what you're doing and what type of operations you're wanting to do. So this brings us back to my personal favorite list. These are government lists. What are government lists? These are going to be your code violations, liens, pre-foreclosures, fire damage properties, water shutoffs, divorce, IRS debt lien lists, credit card debt lien lists. These are all lists you get from your local county, the clerk of the court, the utility department, the code enforcement department, your firehouse. I'm telling you, these lists, nobody really does them outside of our channel because no one talks about it. They're trying to sell you on something. I'm telling you, right now, if you are brand new in this business, these are the lists you have to be doing. They're absolutely crucial. I've stressed this so many times, but government lists are absolutely amazing. So let's sort of break down exactly how to find every single one. And isn't it weird though that like every big guru or YouTuber, they don't talk about this list? So they'll tell you, hey, just use my prop stream link. Hey, we have prop stream links, we have batch lead links, we have all of them. But I'm not trying to cut you out good information I know just to go get a link on something. I'm telling you right now, these are lists we used when we were dead broke to get actual deals. And it's something I have to stress. Don't pay for a paid list if you have not made like 1 to 2 deals yet, right?
So guys, if you're new to the channel, you're just new to wholesaling, a list is just a bunch of people that are a prospect, meaning there should be a good probability there might be a chance to do a deal with them. So when we talk about lists, you could use the word, they're just a bunch of people on a list that either maybe they're in foreclosure, maybe their water got shut off. So when you hear the word list, it's just we're identifying a pool of people that we want to go after. Not everybody on that list is going to be a great target. And guys, you got to understand this. I do care where you get the list from. You can do paid lists. Some of the ones we suggest to you, they're very convenient and they're fast. And when you want a business, you need that part. But as Zach says, a lot of the lists when I started, they were all free. You can go down to your county, get list. You can go to your city and get list. What I want you to understand is when you with somebody you find somebody on the internet and they go, listen, I have these golden lists that are very special. It's not, dude. They all come from the same place. You're going to pay a premium for it. They're going to overpromise. Make sure you're either going to get the list yourself directly from the source or use a very reputable service that has a proven track record. Do not get Johnny Joe says, I've got this secret special list. It's all a lie. They all get it from the exact same places. And I'd rather you learn how to pull the list free and go get it yourself, or use one of the services we recommend we pay for subscriptions to and run it like a business. You can do a combo of both.
I'm telling you, we don't tell you to use something unless we have actually done it. When I'm going to give you, for example, why I say do code violations. When I was 17, 18 years old, I had about 5 deals in the span of like 2 years with code violations. They were probably 30K each. So almost about 150K I made at 17, 18 years old with code violations. And guess how I got that code violation deal? Cold calling it, right? So like, I have to stress this enough. When I say to do a list, it's because we've done it before. How many liens have we done deals on, right? From cold calling with how many pre-foreclosures, fire damage properties? I'll be honest with you. Like, we are not the fire damage property kings. We do not do 15 of them a year, maybe 2 or 3 a year at most.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of them.
We don't get a lot of them. But I'm telling you, fire damage properties are still amazing. Water shutoffs. Cannot tell you how many water shutoff deals I've done. I've almost thrown up every single time I've had to go in those houses. Those are an amazing list. Divorce lists, we've done deals. They're tougher. IRS debt lien lists. How I actually figured that out is I'll be upfront 100% with you guys. Like, I really did not go after IRS debt lien lists until probably 3 years in the business. And you know how I figured out why IRS debt lien lists were so good? Because I reverse engineered. I did like basically, I don't know how to say this the nicest way, but like I kind of did an autopsy of like our deals. You know, like I did like a post analysis of them. And I found on like 30% of the deals we were doing, I looked them up and they all had IRS like liens for not paying their taxes. I'm like, this is insane. And then I learned how to pull this. I'm like, holy moly. And we started marketing, did really well. So I'm telling you, the IRS lien list, amazing. Credit card debt list, that's kind of what the reverse engineering I did that. I'm like, these people all have credit card debt. So and guys, just remember when you're looking up like a credit card debt, it's not going to say credit card debt list on the clerk of the court when you're looking public records. It's just going to be like usually the other category. And then it will be like, you know, Shark Fin Financial Services has a lien for 10 grand on, like, that's kind of how it is because the debt's sold. Just so understand when you're pulling it. But let's sort of break down on the government list how to find each one. So you're kind of you're on the expert on this. You can get really annoying with the code enforcement department, but like, how do you pull the code violation list?
Guys, I'd like to sell you a very complicated way to do it. I start out making phone calls. Now, back in the day, we used to be able to get this all like via email, like that. Those days are kind of far and few between. So the best thing to do is go to find out who keeps the record of code violations. So they do it on a city and at a county level. Okay. The reason for code violations is so they don't have to put up with like, you know, crazy things going on, like somebody running a auto shop like next to your house. When someone decides not to mow the grass, the city will come by. They'll give them a notice and say, "Listen, you got 30 days to cut it, or we're going to send you to a special magistrate, and then we'll impose a lien, usually $50 to $100 a day on the property." So, listen, why these are so valuable? Because it quickly identifies the distressed houses easily for you. So if someone's not mowing a lawn, there's typically a reason. And odds are it's financial. The house is vacant. Someone's might have passed away, a bad renter. The list goes on. This is why code violations are the absolute, I mean, they are complete golden.
I'm telling you, code violations are great. They're one of the best ones out there. And what I could say is, so how do you find, like, this is the original question here. It's like, how do you find the code violation list? And how you do it is you just go to your local code enforcement department, go out there, like go up there to them and say, "Hey, can I get a list of all open code violations in the past month?" And usually they're going to give it to you or they're not. Now, if they don't, unfortunately, you're going to have to be a quote unquote Karen and just go and keep asking. Ask to speak to their manager. And I'm telling you right now, you keep doing that, you will get the code enforcement.
Before you get to the Karen mode,
I'm telling you right now, you
just be persistent and be nice and be direct and polite. I'm going to tell you, it typically does not happen in one visit. Okay. They might even say, well, there's a $25 printing charge. Pay it. I'm telling you, it's worth it, because if you wait for the free version, sometimes it can take you a month to get it. So, and you guys,
if you have the funds for it.
yeah, and use your charm with these people. When I initially did it, I'd bring a dozen Dunkin' Donuts. Actually, it was more like 10 because I ate 2 of them on the way. They're so good. But you have to sometimes you have to bribe the girl behind the counter. And then a lot of times I lean in and they go, Rick, this is how it goes. I'm not supposed to do this, but you keep coming back here and you're so nice about everything. And that's it, guys. Persistent, be super nice. You can do the Karen at the end. And if you have to, you can go to the FOIA Act. That's Freedom of Information Act. If it's a public record, they have to at some point honor your request, or they can actually get a fine being a public entity.
So again, to find it, you got to go out there and just pull it and then ask for it. My personal recommendation is pulling for the tall grass or structural damage. That's sort of the way I would do it. So that's how you do code violations. Next part is, how do you pull the lien list? The lien list, all you really got to do is go to your local clerk of the court and go out there and just filter by liens. It'd be pretty easy to do. Pre-foreclosures is the same way. You just got to go off for list pendants and notice of default. What is a list pendants, if someone doesn't know what that is?
A list pendants is a formal announcement of a lawsuit on a property. So
why would that be important for us wholesalers?
So a list pendants is the banks filing a lawsuit, and the homeowner has typically 20 days to respond. And like they're paying court costs, typically anywhere from $500 to $1,000, depending on what state you're in. And they hire an attorney. So they're not kidding. When someone files a list pendants, it's for real. Anything before a list pendants is what we call a pre-foreclosure. And that's just the bank sending pesky notice to the homeowner saying, you missed a payment. You missed a payment. Now, people ask me all the time, how long does it take? It's usually anywhere from 3 to 6 months. I've seen it as long as a year. And then once they file the list pendants, it's kind of game on for the bank. They're going to try to take that property back at all costs.
So why are pre-foreclosures so important? Like, why are they so good for wholesaling deals?
Because pre-foreclosures it's scary. Like, so if you've ever had something like, listen, these are the people's home. Their children are there, their family's there, and people panic. And especially nowadays today, because everything's so expensive, they can't afford to lose that home. So I think wholesalers, we feel a valuable role in helping people out. I find when they get that first notice, that's when the shock and awe hits. Okay. But here's what happens in pre-foreclosure. First notice. Okay. I'm crying. I'm upset. But nothing happens. Second notice. This ain't bad. Third notice. Who cares? And if you can catch them in the beginning of pre-foreclosure, you usually get a better deal. And remember, catching somebody 30 payments behind, there's a lot of work to be done. It's very hard to do any creative financing or even to get a deal because the debt keeps stacking up. And then what happens is they get served. So a list pendants, usually an officer of the law shows up and sticks a piece of paper and say, you've been served. It is a terrible, terrible feeling.
It's not good.
So now they started it again. Like that fear that went away. It's just like being pulled over for like you see the red and blue lights behind you. Like it freaks me out. I've had my share of speeding tickets, for full disclosure. You get that pit in your stomach. And then, so they typically call you on that first pre-foreclosure notice or in that list pendants. The problem is when they get all the way to the end and it's going to auction within 30 days, I'm going to be honest with you, there's not a lot you can do at the very, very end. And because that's the person who procrastinated all the way in. So pre-foreclosure is the best. If you catch them at a list pendants within the first like 30 to 90 days, you got a great shot. But man, if they wait till the end, you know why they do it at the end? Because they're out of options. And you don't want to be like the last resort, because by then there's not a lot of money left in it. And you usually have to bring in a lawyer and all sorts of expenses to stop it. So pre-foreclosure is really my favorite spot to do it.
They're amazing. So you pull with those from the clerk of the court. Next here is the fire damage properties. I can tell you right now, fire damage properties, one of the best lists to be going after. How do you pull a fire damage property? Remember, these are houses that just went on fire. So what do? Who are the people that fight the fires? The firefighters. So
Mhm.
go to your fire department in your local county, city, or like a local firehouse. Ask them for, hey, can I get a list of all the properties that went on fire that you went servicing to? I'm doing independent research. They'll either give it to you or they won't. You just got to keep asking. Remember, you're a public tax-paying citizen. You actually have a right to this information. And if you just got to keep asking and you'll get it. I'm telling you, you will probably, if you do it right in your local firehouse, you'll probably be the only person pulling that list. You have a huge advantage. Think about talking to a seller that no other wholesaler is talking to.
Mhm.
Absolutely crucial. I'm telling you, like, it's fire damage properties are great. The issue with fire damage properties, which it's like the repair costs are sort of insane.
There's a lot. There's a lot of inspections and like a nice light kitchen fire, which is my favorite. But man, when you start getting into the trusses and stuff like that, it's a whole different ball game. So, what do we got? What's next?
I'm telling you, guys, we're getting a lot of great questions. I'm really excited to actually break this down. A lot of great motivation. I'm pretty excited about this. But so water shutoff list. How do you pull the water shutoff list? This is pretty simple. Again, the water shutoff list, you pull it from your local county's utility department. Now, let me stress this one last time. You cannot pull the water shutoff list in your county if it is a private company. That's a private corporation. They don't really have the right to give you that information. It's like me asking, hey, can I see your tax return? No, right?
Yeah.
You're a private citizen. I can't go to a corporation that's private and ask them for their information. I have to go to a public one. That's where I'll get it. Ask for all the properties that have the water shut off. They'll give it to you, or you got to keep asking, speak to a manager. Eventually, you keep calling or go in person, you will do it. What I can tell you is if you're having a problem getting these lists, there's either two options. Actually, three. I'll call it three. Number one, you haven't gone in person yet. That's number one. Number two, you haven't spoken to a high enough person who actually understands the laws and they're actually a public servant. They have to give that information. There have to be transparency. I mean, I'm not asking the FBI for incriminating information on an ongoing investigation. Like this isn't like high level classified White House documents, right? Next here is you probably haven't asked enough times. What I mean by this, the water shutoff list, usually you have to ask like 4 times. It takes you 4 months asking every single week before you even get that list, right? Like you have to get to the point where, oh my gosh, Zach is being so annoying. He keeps calling and I don't even answer his phone calls anymore, but he goes in person and this is a public place. I can't kick him out. I just give him the list. It's just simpler.
Yeah.
And public employees, if you work for the government, hey, great, good for you. But I'm telling you is most of them aren't going to go above and beyond to help unless you're so annoying where it's actually, they can do less work if they actually just give you what you want, right?
Let me give you a little tip on this. A lot of times they go, well, go right over there and you have a seat.
Oh my
If you do that, make sure the seat is always in view of the person that sat you down because they can't stand it. It's usually about 7 or 8 minutes. They're like, okay, just come on up. I can't deal with it. And you just kind of don't stare them down, but like if you go down the lobby and around the corner, you'll be there for hours. But so if like she's right there and then it says sit right, I'm going to stay right in view. I'm just going to kind of like just nicely, just every time she looks up, I'm like, and they kind of like, they go, man, this guy's not going away. And I made a career out of doing this with a lot of government lists because once they know you're persistent, listen, you can wear out 90% of the population with persistence, like end of story. So
every single, like I can tell you right now, you got to get really annoying with it, but it works really good. Next year's the divorce list. You get that from the clerk of the court, right?
Yeah, dude, I'm not a big fan of it, but it's, remember, divorce is hard on everybody in the family, but you got to get 2 consenting parties that hate each other. And
some of it's mutual, but
I'm
a lot of animosity.
I can't tell you how many contracts I've had fallen through because like one just says, screw it, I'm walking away.
Yeah.
That's typical. And the other one's like, oh no, we're getting and it's just tough. So you get one motivated, one not. And like my recommendation is just be super nice and just try stay in the wings.
I'm telling you, it's still a decent list to try, but IRS debt list, credit card debt list, public information, you actually go to the clerk of court, ask. What I tell you is just go to the clerk of the court and just ask how you pull these lists.
Yeah.
Just go to public records. Most of the time they'll work with you. My biggest recommendation though is if you're going on like a Friday at like 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. where it's like kind of busy, everyone's trying to get stuff like in public record before the weekend, you're not going to do well. I think
midweek,
like a Tuesday or a Wednesday at like, I don't know, 3 p.m. Like we're like
right
the
before,
the sleepiest times where it's like, shoot, this person's the only person in line. I guess I can help them. Like they don't feel stressed.
Yeah.
It's go after lunchtime. Obviously, people are they're fuller, they're a little happier mood after they get their lunch, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's going to be where the best is. And just talk to the court. And you might be asking yourself, oh my God, Zach left off the most important list. I got him. Oh no, we're getting a special little thing for it. Probates. That is the king of the government lists. That is the queen of the government list, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be the top list you can pull for government. That's absolutely for free. I urge everybody, I challenge everybody to go to your county and pull the probates for 3 months straight and call every single probate area you can. Yeah. I can almost guarantee you're going to get appointments and probably deals. Like I'm telling you, marketing, I'm telling you, this is simple. Maybe get 50 a week at most if you're in a big county to do. These are absolute butter. Like this is a hot knife on butter. It's an amazing list. I can't stress this enough. Nobody talks about this enough on YouTube. I don't know why. It's absolutely amazing. So much motivation. I'm telling you, like you live in Colorado and you know someone unfortunately passed away in Georgia. A lot of these people just want to get rid of the property. It's in disarray. No one fixed it. Maybe the person was in a nursing home and they died and they left the property vacant for 3 months. The best creative financing lists. It's just take it away. Like probates are.
I go on forever probates. So I found probates because my accountant says you need to do more deals like these 4 or 5 you did. I'm just like, and so I went back and did my research. And guys, if you do not research where your deals came from and keep a record of it, you're missing out on the boat. After doing, hundreds and hundreds of deals, probates always stood out in the top. I just had to have somebody outside my head tell it to me. And when the bells went off, I did a deep dive in probate. I learned everything I humanly possibly can. I learned how the court works. I learned how the lawyers do it. I learned how the petitioner works, like everything. And I studied it. And when you want to learn something, you really want to know it. It doesn't matter what it is, you will do it. Probates, if you're skipping them, you are missing out on one of the most profitable wholesale deals you can do. They're run down, they have deferred maintenance, and they're vacant. And I sound like that other guy when I go like that. Ready this? They're vacant. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I love them. And full disclosure, I did not focus on them on my first 8 years of doing wholesale. And I'm telling you, if I did, it would have changed. I mean, my life's already changed. It just would have happened a lot faster. So you just go, and these aren't huge lists. They're not big at all. And there's some work in getting them, but they're not that hard, in my opinion. We still do them to this day. They're well worth it. And they are by far, when you get them, the most profitable and easiest deals to wholesale once you have them under contract.
I've seen this all the time. So this brings us back to, there's only one like gray area of like, is this really a paid list? Is this a free list? And this is going to be driving $4. What would you like? I'd call it sort of a free list. You have to pay for it, but obviously there's gas money involved, things like that. But I cannot stress this enough. Probates is one of the best lists. With the other really good lists, I would probably put these things tied. Drawing for $, you can scale that. Probates maybe only get 50 a week, kind of stuck. You get 400 drawing for $, leads a week. So let's break this down. So what is drawing for $? Drawing for $, in my opinion, is one of the best list pulling possible. That's when you get in your car and you drive around town in neighborhoods of potential properties and you literally just look for ugly looking houses. You know, bad roof. Is there like stucco cracks? Is there mold on the outside? You actually go put the list down. You either just put on your notes the address or do like a voice memo or something, and you call them. It's a really good chance out of maybe 100 calls, you're going to get a good deal and maybe even a good seller appointment. And it's a really good way to actually find deals by driving around and looking for properties. It doesn't have to be bad. Put headphones in, listen to music, listen to like this
Not
stuff
not
and
when
get it.
don't put headphones on while you're driving, but
You can put headphones in when you're driving.
I
And
don't think that's legal.
you're going like 15 miles an hour. So like put headphones in, have a good time, listen to some music while you're driving around, stay focused on the roads. But I'm telling you, just go out there. You can scale it up really cool. The cool part about driving for dollars too is I don't drive for dollars anymore. I got like 5 or 6 people that are like kids that can do it. It doesn't take an expert to go and draw and look for an ugly house. Hey, look for an ugly house. I'll pay you 15, 20 bucks an hour. It's amazing.
If you're struggling on deals, get in your car and go just find it. Like, stop waiting for everything to come to you. Go get it. This is playing offense and not sitting wait. And honestly, even like once a week, just get in your car. We all need to get out, get some fresh air, put your windows down. Well, if it's snowing, you might want to keep them up, but I'm here in Florida. So go out, get some fresh air, some fresh snow, David Goggins it, and just go after it and get it. Whenever I got short on it, I used to send everybody out. Everybody come back with like a list of 200 properties. And we get these massive lists, and they always wind up getting a deal. And I'm just telling you, it's so simple. And if you don't know how to do it, go to freewholesaling.com. We do an entire video in there, show you how to do it. It's 100% free. I've spent my my last 20 years driving for dollars. There's very few people. It's not complicated. You don't need a course for driving for dollars, but learn how to do it. It is absolutely, it's very simple, and it works very well. Yep. So.
Also, guys, just wanted confirmation. The audio is fine. I always get one person in the comments saying, "Oh, the audio is shaky and everything's terrible. I think you keep cutting in and out. You know, the audio is coming." I don't think it is. I just checked on my phone. I always get one. I don't know why. I always get one person that says this. So if I can get confirmation this thing isn't shaking in and out and getting in and out, I would appreciate that. But everything looks good on our end. We even get the internet signal on the thing, so we're fine. Yeah. But I ain't stopping this. This marketing-a-thon, these gurus are trying to cut it. These gurus are going out here trying to find the internet wire that out of here, and they're trying to cut it off. They're trying to cut the stream off. If they're trying to stop the power grid in Port St. Lucie right now. They're trying to cut us out, but we ain't gonna let it happen. We're disseminating this information. I'm telling you right now, it's good. We're getting some stuff here. Audio's great, sounds great, perfect, fine. So what I can tell you right now is drive for dollars, guys. I cannot stress this enough. If you need a quick boost, you've been a kid and you've had a little bonfire going, and some person just they just put a little lighter fluid, like a little drop, and just see it go like, whoosh. Put the lighter fluid on your fire and just explode it by actually going out here driving for dollars. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Now we get in the next part, guys. We are taking our sweet time. This is not just a video. This is a event. Imagine.
I'm going to throw in a bonus one.
Oh, geez.
And listen, it's right up there with divorce. It ain't easy. And you've done a few of these with me. Arrest records. Like, you can pull your city and county arrest records. I'm going to warn you, it's drama at a level you can't even comprehend. So it just, remember, when someone's going to jail and they have a house, someone's got to make payments and keep it going. And if they don't have people to help them out, you do fill a void. Now, you will get patted down going into the jail cell. You have to sit and you have to entertain some crazy stuff. But
this is a marketing event, so we're going to give you everything in the event, not just the YouTube. So fine, I don't talk about that much, but
so you just look someone who got arrested, and then you cross-reference they have a property, and reach out to them. Like, it's a shot. I'm going to warn you, it's a lot of drama because you're going to hear everything going on in their life. And remember, when you're stuck in jail and you can't make bond, they love talking to wholesalers.
They just like talking. So, I driving for dollars is fine, but I'm telling you right now, just be careful with that, but it's still something you can do. Next here is the paid lists. So what are the paid lists? These are lists you get from listrei.com, batch leads, whatever one you want to call it. I think smszack.com is switching to batch leads. Mm-hmm. I think they're getting rid of that offer just because of the expensive things. On their end, I think they're losing like $30 every time someone clicked smszack.com. Yeah. So they switched it over to I think they're losing like $20 or something out the other one. But listrei.com, that's how you actually pay for a list. You get driving for dollars app with that too. But let's kind of break down the list you actually have to pay for. Not the most fun. No one likes paying for things, right? But
But
again,
man, guys, you have no idea how good you have it getting lists.
yeah.
Because the old way of doing it, 15 to 20 cents a record, very manual. It was extremely painful with very, very few filters. So
Yeah. So remember, guys, back in the good old days when you had to pay for a list, it was 25 cents a record, or maybe you had it for 4 cents a record or something. But like,
there was a little gimmick out there for a while. But like
yeah,
List Source used to be, which is owned by CoreLogic, used to be the only way we got data. There was a couple other companies that tried them all. They were pretty bad. And it was just, it was all a la carte. You had to buy it. And it's extremely
I mean, for us,
expensive.
like for 3 cents a record, we pull 10,000 easy. That'd be like what? Let me do the math real quick. That would be like $300. Like I'd have to pay $3,600 a year just in data, which it's a third of that basically if you use listrei.com. So I'm telling you right now, like we give it's out
the
all
best.
out for
it's
free.
the best bang for your buck. We use it in our business, just so you know.
I'm telling you. So I'm getting asked really quick, is there a priority course available? Guys, the only course we have right now is freewholesaling.com. That is the only one we do. We have a probate course in there that's for free. Give it all out for free, guys. Like that's, again, Rick used to sell a course in like 8 years ago, and he sold it to a publisher before we started the channel.
Yeah,
that might be something you get. That guy still markets.
I got out of the guru business because I saw everything that was going on.
But
and
this is like 5 years ago. I'm telling you right now, guys.
Somebody made me an offer, and I'm just like, talk about. You got
out of it.
I don't manage it. I don't do anything with it. It's still great information, but
we give it out. We literally, I told everyone, if you just email, like if you go through freewholesaling.com, we actually still have access to that course. The thing is, we're allowed to give it out. I can't remove it.
On it.
The problem is we can't remove it from the internet, but we are actually allowed to give it out for free. As like there's a loophole in the thing, but I tell you, just email us. We give it out to everybody for free, and get it going. So
get me in trouble.
Let's see. Aaron, I'm not even going to answer that. I think Aaron already knows why I'm not even going to answer this comment. I refuse to even mention this person anymore. You see this?
Yeah,
I don't even mention that.
That was posted yesterday.
You
probably the
Aaron.
person.
Like I'm not going to answer that one just because
I know who Aaron's using.
That's
fine.
I'll tell you this right now, though, real quick. You pay for what you get for with your skip tracing.
Yeah,
it's not credit bureau data. I promise you.
So
it will literally cost $1,000 for that type of skip. Someone says, "Hey, this paid list I have gives me free skip tracing." To actually at base cost to get the quality skip tracing you would actually need to pay for skip, it would cost you $1,000 per month to actually get that stuff, and you're not getting it because I know IDI. We've had all the credit bureau. We actually had IDI go to our offices. I'm telling you,
audit us.
It'd be $1,000. You get for what you pay for. Those lists that give you 10,000 free skip traces, you'll get 60% of that list there. Like the 40% is not even good, guys. They're scraping True People Search. I'm telling you right now. I can't guarantee they're doing that, but the data's not good. You're going to end up paying for it. It's a gimmick, and it's from.
But like, hey, listen, if you're happy with it, do it. There's no free service out there. Like it's just there's always a catch. So especially if someone's selling a large course that might be tied to it. So I'm just saying, like, you got to do apples for apples if you're going to do it. So if we talk about free and paid, understanding. You guys know, I get a trial membership. Like there's legit trial memberships, but if you think you're going to get 10,000 skip traces for free, I promise you, I guarantee you, there has to be a catch because that company would go broke.
Oh, you'll get the skip traces. You just won't get the quality you want, but let's digress.
One phone number.
If anyone's ever had a McRib and has anyone's ever tasted a steak, you know the difference. So if
they still sell the McRibs
sometimes. I'm telling you, but like if you're investing thousands of dollars a year into a software, you don't want to second guess it. But let's break down some of the best lists you have to pay for. So this is going to be your high equity lists, your vacants, your tired landlord, pre-probates, tax delinquencies, and vacant land, all from PropStream or batch leads, whatever one you want. I don't mind which one. I don't care.
We use them both. So it doesn't we don't own any of these companies, so we can give you an unbiased opinion. So they're both quality, they're both reputable, and we trust their data. But like And no, you don't need two. Just pick one. Like honestly, whichever one fits you. You know, they both have um, their specialties, and for that reason, if you could possibly have two, we like to check our data and see which one's like the best. But we subscribe to both of them. We run a pretty large operation. But if you're just getting out, starting out, you do not need either one of them. They're not a requirement. I don't care if you use them or not. If you want to use them and leverage some of the business aspects of it and the convenience of it, and it's worth it for you, I would go for it.
Yeah. So like either you get listarea.com, you can use smsact.com, get 5,000 free list polls. So it's like, if you want to try the trials out, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but like try both of them, right? Like that, at the end of the day, like you can try both of them and see which one you like. They're both losing a ton of money doing this. So let them fight for you. Like I'm not here to go. I love it when I'll be up front. We have that link so we can pay for things for the channel. I'm telling you right now, I don't do this business just for free. I do this to get JVing deals, and we make a ton of money doing it. But what I'll tell you is I'll put a link on there just because it gives people free leverage. We get leverage to give people better offers. So I love one person that says you can only batch is the only thing you can ever use, and someone says prop stream's the only thing. You know what,
guys? I was around when none of this was around. Like you're like, I guess it's sweet you're loyal to them, but like the reality is you're going to use one. If you get success with it and you're comfortable with it, don't switch. Like it's a nightmare. It's like moving.
Donna says, is Mailing Mastery the one you sold? No, that's just the free direct mail course.
Dude, no, that's an unbelievable.
Yeah, but we'll get into that.
That thing's unbelievable.
We'll get into that a little later. But yeah, you guys, you try both of them, smsact.com, listrea.com, and you let them fight for your money. Like, I don't really care which one you use. Go use government list. I don't care. But I'm telling you right now, if you're going to pay for a list, test them both out. They're both great. I got plenty of videos on like which ones you like or which one's better, but let's kind of break these down.
We provide a lot of training for you on them.
Yeah. So
both of them.
Let's break this down. High equity. What is high equity? Why do we like high equity? And why is it such a really good marketing list to be pulling?
It's just real simple. It's people that
wait, first of all, I don't want to cut you up, but like, what is equity? Let's kind of break it down to the simplest basics. What is equity?
Well, in the definition of real estate, because they can get slippery outside of real estate, it's so if somebody bought a house for $100,000 and say they initially got a $90,000 mortgage, which is typical, say they live in the house 10 years, say 15 years, and now they only owe about $60,000 on it, and the house is now, say it's worth $150,000. Mm-hmm. So that's $90,000 in equity. Equity is their cash portion of what they own in the house. So when they go to sell the house, they have to pay back the $60,000 mortgage at the closings, and then the difference would be their equity, which would be 90 grand in this case. Mm-hmm. So when you do equity filters, we try to target people with equity. My preference is 40% or higher. Mm-hmm. Some people do a little bit higher. When I initially did it, I only did people that own the dang thing out cash outright 100%.
Yeah.
But when there's equity in it, it means they have room to basically sell it at a discount and move on. And if you find a property that has issues with it with high equity, this has been a proven strategy. This strategy was taught well before I jumped in the arena at 2002, and it will be in this arena long after I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Which will be when I'm not on the earth, because I plan on doing this the rest of my life. So high equity, simple, don't complicate it. My recommendation, set a filter for 40% or higher. And if you need to trim your list down, just keep pushing the filter up higher.
Yeah.
Because the more equity they have, really theoretically, the more chances you will have of getting a better deal.
But also big chance that person wants more for the house. It's a yin and yang. I think above 55% is really where you get into true high equity. Some people say 40%. I think 55. And, equity's getting built with inflation like crazy right now and appreciation. Yeah. So it's like, it gets weird.
Yeah. And keep in mind, you're using an algorithm through these data companies. They're far from perfect.
Yeah.
So find a comfort level. I'm just telling you, my 20 years experience, once you get below 40, it becomes a challenge. I've experimented down to 25. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So if you want to do Now, if I was going to target subject twos or do some type of marketing like that, your phone will blow up on like sub 20.
Yeah.
Like and they'll talk to you all day long. But the problem is there's not enough money in there. And unless they're willing to hand over their mortgage, it's very hard to take those deals down. And it takes a little bit of experience to learn how to talk to people because it's a little bit different of a conversation.
Yeah. Mostly high equity are people who just have a motivation for selling and they got plenty of money that they can get for cash for the house where it works. Again, how do you calculate equity? At the end of the day, to calculate equity, it's really how much you're going to buy the property for minus what they owe, whatever liens they have on the property, what their mortgage is. Like that's really it. So if you're buying it for $100,000 and they have a $50,000 mortgage on it that they owe, that means their equity is going to be 50%. So it's $50,000 divided by your purchase price. So 50,000 divided by 100,000, 50%, that's 50% equity. That's how you calculate equity for wholesaling real estate deals. I'm telling you right now, high equity is really important. So let's go to the next one, vacants. Vacant, basically a vacant list is going to be a list you get from the United States Postal Service. So I don't know if because I've dealt with so many properties we've bought and then we just haven't gotten the mail, it is listed vacant. Vacant is basically a list from the United States Postal Service where if no one collects mail for, I think, 7-8 days, I know this is in Florida. It might be different. Every state's different, but there'll be a green slip. The post office, they'll take your mail back and they'll put a green slip because they don't want to waste their time driving. And it says vacant on it. So the old school way to get this list of oh my gosh. So you can get a list of properties where no one's just living, it's just abandoned and someone probably wants to just get rid of it for cash. Oh my gosh, right? That used to be the probate list back in the day because it was the only way to get it if you were a 501c3. And PropStream, ListREI.com, Batch Leads, these third-party services found a way to actually go out there and get that list.
They actually go through a HUD program. So USPS has to submit the data to the federal government.
Yeah.
And then HUD gathers this information. And they got this ridiculous rule that you have to be a nonprofit, some sort of stipulation.
HUD is the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Correct.
Also. Yeah.
So they keep statistics on it. So all these data providers have figured out how to get these lists. Yeah. So, when you're getting a vacant list, they're all getting it from the same place. I'm sorry to bust everyone's bubble that they do not go out in a car and collect all this information directly from homeowners or the United States Postal Office. They submit, they do a lot of paperwork. Guys, it's smart, it's clever, but I want to understand it doesn't matter which data service you use. All of them are getting it from the exact same source. So find a reputable data provider. Use the ones that we use. We like to use them. They're far from perfect, guys. There's a lot of the only downside of these lists, they're not updated hugely. And by the time they get to the data services, sometimes 90 or 120 days can pass.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge. Sometimes MLS stuff gets mixed up in there when they're selling the house and they're vacant. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it is a numbers game. It's a great place to look. And I don't pull the vacant list every month. My suggestion to you is if you want to do it often, don't do it more than once a quarter because they don't change a ton. 15, maybe 10, 15%. Because you'll notice the same people on the list. I'm so if you had to use part of your allocated leads and you keep buying the same lead over, the data services don't care. They'll put it towards or if you're paying for it, even worse. Here's what I tell you: do not buy private vacant home list because guess where they're getting it from? They're getting it from the exact same place the data services are providing.
So that's vacants. So tired landlords, another list. It's just people that their mailing address is different than their primary address, and they can tell that it's a landlord. And then other people might have their primary address there. And this is a tired landlord, usually someone who's older and that's actually owned the house for a while. That's how these are just people that are tired of being a landlord, right? They might have a lot of just want or motivation to sell it. So that's actually a really good list to be doing. Next here is pre-probates. This is technically so probates when someone unfortunately passes away. We talked to the heirs, cold call them, stuff like that. Pre-probate is, so technically probate is when the probate process actually gets filed in.
Correct.
Now, PropStream has a thing called pre-probate where you try to get the list right when someone unfortunately passes away. and the probate process actually isn't filed. I think you'd agree with me. There's actually a lot of people that pass away where probate's not even really filed till like 2 or 3 months after.
So let me give you guys a little bit of a stat. I want to say, don't quote me exactly on this.
I'm going to quote
but
you.
almost 50% of properties don't even go through probate when somebody passes away. So by using this pre-probate strategy through listrei.com, I hate the word game changer because it's beyond abused in this industry. It's a huge difference maker.
You're
use that.
Crushing it.
So part of the service is they will they comb the death records and they cross-reference it to properties owned in the county, and then it comes up on this list. Properties that don't go through probate, trusts, anytime there is there's certain types of companies. A lot of properties, if it's in joint tenants, it just passes to the other person. It skips. But a lot of times these people need help all the time. A lot of times, depending on how they set up the legal structure of the property, joint tenants with survivorship, and I'm not here to give you legal advice, but a lot of these properties are set to pass. A lot of people do a lot of pre-planning for probate so they don't have to go through this painstaking process for their family. And if you don't do pre-probate, you miss on it. And here's the last benefit of pre-probate. You don't have to go spend all this energy, if you don't want to, going to the courthouse, doing all these specialty lists, combing them, cross-referencing them. It's more of a wide net you just throw out. And I could tell you, if I had to do it all over again, I would have started out doing pre-probates. It was never offered to me. So it's a good blanket, and you don't have to spend a lot of energy. And it really doesn't cost you any more money. I'm telling you, to do probates, yes, you can go and pull them, but there's energy to do it. Or sometimes you even have to pay for like these specialty lists. And by the way, here's my recommendation. I'm going to tick off a lot of people with this one. Do not use private paid probate service providers. It's literally a waste of money. They are selling the exact same list to everybody, and most of them are majorly dated.
They're just trying to sell you. Like, they're going to the government and pulling it.
Just don't do it, guys, because I've tried, and a lot of them are like $100 per county per list. And I was spending up to $1,000 a month. I never got a deal. The minute I started going to the courtroom and took action, did it myself, the deals flowed in.
I'm telling you right now. So the one thing I would also tell you, which I think is pretty important here, is pre-probate's done by going through the public obituaries and death records, and then using that and figuring out, oh my gosh, Edward Smith in Louisville, Kentucky, at 123 Main Street, he passed away. Oh shoot. That person actually owned a piece of real estate. Yeah. Then you pop them up on there. People used to do that back in the day. It used to be called some not nice names that people go through.
A little freaky, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of it.
So PropStream does this for you. Yeah. And they're not calling it the obituary list. They're calling it the pre-probate, which I think kind of creative. But theoretically, what they're doing with the old, like what they used to do with like in the 80s and 70s, they go through the obituaries like, oh, Tom Felton.
You know what the problem with an obituary is, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. When somebody passes away, they put a notice. Well, it used to be in the paper. Now it's online. And the problem is, dude, they just passed away. Please, for the love of God, do not pick up the phone 2 days after they pass away and say, it's just not the right time. And it drives me nuts. I'm all for aggressive marketing, but man, you want to start off with a really bad relationship. That's like, let me tell you, I would tear you up if you called me right after a loved one died.
But Dad, here's the thing. No one's going to go call you and say, hey, I saw that Dad died. I want to buy your house.
Well, some people do.
Some people, see, that's how you get torn up. I'm telling you right now, you won't get torn up if you go call the person and say, hey, are you looking to sell this house? Probably not.
Here's my problem. The obituary is like, it just happened. Obituaries are usually within 48, 72 hours.
No, pre-probates. Like, that's the way they do it.
No, I know. Well, there's a little bit of time that goes by on it because
file
a death certificate takes a little bit of time. I'm telling you guys, I always talk about probate speed, but speed is not during the initial grieving period.
And this isn't telling you, hey, a probate's filed, wait on that for 3 months. No. Once probate's on, it's fair game. Pre-probate's a little better. I'd say pre-probates you should probably do. Don't go in the obituaries. It's not the best thing to do.
Be a human being when you call people in probate. 100%. That's all I'm telling you. Like, don't, hey, if I paid all cash and I closed quickly. That's how I was trained when I started out. And because there was no other script, that was it. Do not use that script anymore. Is the worst. Like, if I paid you all cash and closed quickly, somebody pitched me that the other. Actually, I saw it on a text on one of my properties. I was kind of like,
it was a mess. So the next one here is tax delinquency. Basically, that's someone behind on taxes. So pretty good list. ListRI.com's got that. Vacant land. Batch has that too. I mean, it's just land, right?
They're all just names on the list. So delinquent is exactly what it says. That's like, I was a delinquent child in school. So it's like,
you still are delinquent.
I am. I got issues, but they're just behind on their taxes and like they go on a list. Rick, why would I chase somebody down on a delinquent tax list? Because when people don't pay their taxes, it could be a sign that they have a distressed property. It doesn't mean everybody on there is. You'll actually find really rich people on tax delinquency list.
Yeah.
You'll see them owing like $100,000 on it. I'm like, who gets a $100,000 tax bill? You'd be surprised. And they use the tax office to finance their taxes. They'll wait till the last day to pay it. They don't care. So you got to sort the list out, but let's move on. I got a lot to go over. We got to help some people out here.
Next one here is stacking lists. I can tell you right now, you can stack these lists. What I mean by that, if you have a vacant land list, combine that filter, add that extra filter with a high equity. That's a stacked list. A vacant property with a lot of equity is going to be great, right?
Yeah.
A pre-probate with a lot of equity. Maybe a vacant that is also a pre-probate. Like, just mix these together. I'm telling you, they're going to be absolutely amazing. Next part about marketing lists that I think we should bring up. We kind of talked about this again, and this is skip tracing. You either get free skip tracing, paid skip tracing, free skip tracing. I recommend this every single time. If you want to skip trace for free, TruePeopleSearch.com. TruePeopleSearch.com is the best skip tracing for free. It is literally magic, in my opinion. The chance of you finding someone absolutely for free for skip tracing, you got to pay 10, 15, 20 cents each record. Put some headphones in and just copy and paste into TruePeopleSearch.com.
It's going to cost you some time, but
it'll cost you some time, but it's like 65% accurate and for free. That's the best you can get.
Start there at least.
Yeah. And if you have to pay for skip tracing, batch skip tracing is probably the best one out there. ListRI.com is really good too. What I could tell you is batch is probably the best right now, but both services definitely are getting better. And I could see them rolling out, extra. Skip tracing just gets more accurate every single year. So maybe it's going to change. I don't know. But what I can tell you right now is they're both ones that I have to be recommending. But for paying it, don't pay for skip tracing unless you can absolutely afford it or it makes sense, or your time is valuable, or you're going on a bunch of appointments and it actually makes a bunch of sense. Now, if it doesn't make a bunch of sense, probably not. But that's what I have to say. So for free skip tracing versus paid, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like it's a weird line between actually paying for it or not, but if it makes sense, it makes sense. So next part, so we went through the list part. I'm telling you right now, we're also getting this. True People Search does not work outside the USA. Alexis, get a free VPN. If you're outside the US, learn how to do a VPN. They're free to do. They're amazing. So let's kind of break down how to do the marketing channels. So let's break down basically all the marketing channels, guys. This is what we call a marketing-a-thon. Usually we talk for like 30 minutes and we get into it. Like, this is a marketing-a-thon, marathon, marketing-a-thon. So we're getting into it. I'm jacked up. So I love that. There are a lot of people on today. So
I know
they're enjoying. They're in the virtual event watching. So I appreciate it. Hopefully y'all are wearing your suits. So these are let's break down really quick the marketing channels. So this is going to be cold calling, SMS, direct mail, drawing for dollars, reverse drawing for dollars, door knocking, RVM, cold calls, JVing, Facebook ads, PPC, SEO, bandit signs, paper ads, TV, radio, bail bonds and sticker, door hangers. I love it when somebody tells me that I ran out of marketing channels. There's no marketing channels I can do. Guarantee you haven't been through 90% of this list, because I have been 100% through all of these lists. You have marketing channels. You have too. So let's break it down really quick. So number one, cold calling, the best marketing channel. Talk to people, go out here, actually have conversations, and I promise you, you're going to have great chances of getting a deal with this list. The simplest script I can tell you a million times, the simplest cold calling script is asking them if they are the owner of the property, if they want to sell the property. So, hey, are you the owner of 123 Main Street? And if they say yes, hey, do you want to sell that property at 123 Main Street? If they do, qualify them, ask the 4 pillars of wholesaling. This is motivation, time frame, condition, and price. So motivation, why they want to sell the property. Condition, has the roof, AC, repairs. Time frame, when they're actually looking to sell the property. Then 2 months, 2 weeks, a month, whenever. Price, how much they need to sell the property for. I'm telling you, use that script for your cold calling. You're going to do amazing, right?
Yes. So it's cold calling. It's cost effective when you're starting out. It is going to be time intensive, and it's extremely scalable.
It is. So the next part is SMS text blasting, and SMS is getting a little weirder. The least I could say that we're using in our operations right now. It's still one of the best ones. You have to get really creative with your SMS text blasting. I cannot stress this enough. You have to get super creative with it. Not, hey, are you looking to sell your house, Mr. Johnson? No.
It's
like,
those
hey,
days are over.
Hey, my partners drove by the property and we have a quick question about 123 Main Street. That's how you got to get really creative with it. And it's still really good. Direct mail. Like, let's kind of break down direct mail really quick. Like,
so
it's one of the
direct
best.
mail's it's going to be a much higher initial cost, but I'm here to tell you guys, like, I like direct mail. The thing is, I've never stopped doing it. The only people who say direct mail doesn't work, they tried it once or twice. I promise you, if you just try it once or twice, you will fail at it because it takes time and you have to be consistent with it. But the initial cost is what turns most people off on it. But what you got to understand, there's no, like, you can run it with a one man, one woman army, as opposed to cold calling and SMS. Cold calling, initial leads, initial lists of stuff are relatively cheap, but it's a lot of energy. And then if you hire VAs and all these other people to do it, time starts adding up. I would tell you, if you have to compare them dollar for dollar, if you're considering direct mail is, you have to be extremely consistent. You have to be persistent. You have to be very disciplined. If you don't do that and you don't have a budget, it's not going to work. The truth goes all for all these I'm putting on here is direct mail gets a lot of heat, but I'm here to tell you guys, direct mail is 100% legal. It's never going away. Yeah. It's never going away. So as all these other channels get more legislation and stuff like that, you should just consider it. I'd rather you get a few deals under your belt and get started. I didn't do my first deals on direct mail. I added it when I had the money for it. And I had to go through a massive learning curve. So if you go to mailingmastery.com, I give you my entire 20 years experience. I could sell it for a mega course, but I'm here to provide as much value for you and change how wholesaling works for you. So if you're even thinking about it, take advantage of it. There's no credit card swipe. You'll really enjoy it. I love direct mail. I'm very, very good at it. That's my spin on that. What's the next one?
I'm telling you right now. So the next one here is driving for dollars. Again, we kind of broke that down to driving around like for ugly houses. Reverse driving for dollars is when you're going out here and, like, let's say you pull a pre-foreclosure list. You know, with pre-foreclosures, I try to go out here and cold call that list. It's going to be rough. Those people are already dealing with loan sharks. They're not going to answer their phone. You can try direct mail with it. That's expensive. Reverse drawing for dollars, besides bandit signs, probably one of the cheapest inbound marketing tactics.
Exactly.
So what is inbound marketing?
Inbound marketing, just usually you provide some sort of solicitation via postcard, letter, or a sticky on someone's door, and there's a phone number. When they call, that phone number is coming in, so it's considered inbound.
I don't have to go call like they're calling us.
So it is convenient, but you have to wait. So it's kind of, I'm going to give you a terrible analogy. It's like fishing. You got to go out, you got to put the bait in the water, and when they bite the hook, that's your inbound. As opposed to SMS, cold calling, RVM, that's outbound. That's you picking up the phone, whatever, and just going after them. It's awesome. It shows hustle muscle, but it gets exhausting. It can get expensive in the long run. So if you can find a balance between the two, it's what I recommend. Listen, we're teaching you how to do wholesaling for free. So you got freedom of marketing dollars as opposed to buying a ridiculously expensive wholesaling course for information that's already out there for free. And then you already take whatever money you were going to spend on that coaching and start it out with a marketing budget. And go to freewholesaling.com and you will get a head start on this.
Yeah. So reverse trying for dollars, again, you get a sticky note, you get like a pre-foreclosure. and you write on the sticky note like, "Hey, this is Zach. I had a quick question about the house. Please give me a call back. Pick your phone number." Stick that to those 400 deals. Put it like under the windshield wiper too, if you can. People will get it.
Do not write a paragraph. Okay. Remember, I talked in the beginning of the marketing thon. It's about engagement, and it's about there is a distinct difference between being curious and being clever or a smart. You know what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it.
You don't want to go overboard. So the less you put in there, and the easiest way to get someone to call you back on like a text, I already told you, is like, "Hey dude, like call me back. I got a question."
Yeah.
Every one of you on this, 9 out of 10, you would call that person right away because you want it. You're itching inside. What the heck do they want from me? And is it a little bit devious and tricky? Yes, but it's ethical and it's above board, as opposed to like, "Call me back. I got $10,000 for you." That's overboard because you can't promise that. So if you guys remember, you need engagement in marketing and you need to create curiosity. I can't stand when I get a letter or a postcard in front to back. I'm done after the first 3 sentences because I'm like, I know everything they're going to say. When we do postcards, super simple, and there's some sort of curiosity in there, and you guys got to use that. That tip alone is worth this live stream, period. End of story. So many people don't understand marketing. It's just about engagement. Get rid of your ego. Nobody cares about all your services. Will they reach out to you? And then can you connect with them when they reach out to you? That's all marketing is about.
I'm telling you. So if you want to start drawing for, if you want to start reverse drawing for dollars, all you got to do, buy those yellow sticky notes, pull list, pre-foreclosures, any government type list out there, even your drawing for dollars list. You're driving around and you just see an ugly looking house, a code violation. Write on that postcard, write on that little sticky note, "Hey, this is Zach," or put your name. "I have a quick question. Please call me back." You're going to invoke so much curiosity. You're going to have so many sellers calling you. I'm telling you, you get a better response rate with that than direct mail. You get a better response rate with that than direct mail. And I promise you right now, you're going to do really well with it. So I'm telling you, with reverse drawing for dollars, it is absolutely amazing. You're going to do better than direct mail. You're going to do amazing with that, and just start doing it. Next year is door knocking. I'm telling you, let's do a quick analogy with reverse drawing for dollars and door knocking. So number one, if I had a list of pre-foreclosures, 100 of them, what's more fun? I put the sticky notes on the pre-foreclosures door, and they call me, and I can actually say it on the phone, talk to them, or I go in person and actually have talked to these angry people.
You get a lot more angry.
So let's talk about door knocking real quick. It ain't fun, but it's...
Well, listen, I started out doing it, but I will tell you, it will weed out the people that, if you really want to do this business, you want to do it, you got guts to do it, especially into like today's environment. It's just a different world.
So door knocking is when you go to someone and you just knock on the door and you ask them if they want to sell the property.
Somebody reminded me there's a famous comedian, Sebastian, I forgot his last name, and he does a whole skit like when somebody like knocks on the door.
Italian guy?
Yeah, they
go
go
Malesco.
And like his first thing he goes, "Did you guys call any? Did you guys invite anybody over?" And then duck down. They duck down to like, and they all sneak up to the door. People go hide in the rooms, and that's a good analogy for like. But like when I was a kid, somebody knocks on the door, you're like, "All right, we have visitors." And I remember the vacuum salesperson coming in and sitting down next to my mom and spending 45 minutes trying to sell a vacuum cleaner. Can you imagine doing that today? Anyways, it's a different world. Things change. Wholesaling changes, and you have to adapt with it. You have to make decisions if it's really worth your time to do it. I've been chased by dogs. I've been spit on for full rec. Just not fun stuff. I did not get in the, I remember doing, I did not get in the wholesaling to do this. Now I did one of my first 10 deals. I did a pre-foreclosure and I made 60 grand. So I survived the spitting, but I'm going to be honest with you, I probably should have just stopped. It was bad. Okay. It was really bad. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. And honestly, with Ring doorbells and people's like shyness, it's just not
can door knock. I'm telling you, hey, it's still going to work.
Some cities, it's actually it's banned. It's illegal. You can actually get cited for it.
But you could still do it with a lot of them. I'm telling you right now, door knocking. This is the marketing-a-thon. So we're going to give you all the marketing knowledge you need. We just don't recommend that one. Next is RVMs. We don't recommend RVMs, but RVMs stand for ringless voicemails. That's when you basically drop a voicemail you actually drop that voicemail into somebody's phone. It doesn't ring, it's ringless. And literally, it's like, Zach, it's like, you get your phone number there. You have a new voicemail. I'm like, that didn't ring at all. How'd that go in there? And then you listen, it's like hey, this is Zach. If you're looking to sell your house, call me.
It's going to be banned in everything.
It's banned in Florida. It's not banned in Florida, but there's case law where people have gotten fined.
Expensive.
People that have gotten
we don't do it anymore.
Tens of thousands of dollars fines.
If you do this in volume, you're going to get caught. And it's just a matter. It's not if, it's just when. And here's an example of where curiosity crosses over to being kind of clever and like a smart butt. So, because it's very like people just feel tricked because wait a minute, my phone didn't ring. This doesn't make sense. And they're calling back on that action and that. Like, I get it. It's brilliant marketing. Like, I'm going to be honest, whoever came up with it, unbelievable, but we've abused it as wholesalers. Yeah. So many coaching programs have pushed it out, and it's just a matter of time that it came back to this. And then
the Southern District of Florida, I always tell people, tell me the laws. Southern District of Florida has case law on it. So that's where I'm stating it from.
Yeah. So we just stay away. It's like the people I work with all over the country, they're all having the same issues with it. And I'm just, because people keep getting bolder and bolder and they send out bigger and bigger numbers. And it's just a number. The wrong person gets it with the lawyer. Yeah. They do not go away, in my opinion. But I got to tell you, when it came out, it was unbelievable.
It's crazy. So the next one here is cold emailing. You can get emails that people want to sell. I'm not the biggest fan of that.
Skip that one. Yeah. I mean, you can do it, but you got to have some sort of connection with them, and you actually have to have permission to email them. So until you get that permission, so I would use cold email for like a dead lead. If someone you talk to, they fell off the earth, that's a good way to try to revive them and warm them up. So
next here is JVing. Guys, JVing is a great marketing source. Just going out here, talking to like other wholesalers, going to Facebook groups. Hey, you wholesale in Houston? I have a lot of buyers in Houston. Hey, you need help selling your deal? Talk to me. I'm telling you, JVing, you can get so many deals done. We do hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year just JVing with you guys. And it's absolutely one of the best things I've ever done. Yeah. So actually go out here, connect with people, talk to the people in the comments, actually like interact with people in Facebook groups. They're really easy to find. And a lot of them want to work with each other. I'm telling you, we've had deals in like Arizona, not like Phoenix, but like in the weird parts of Arizona, where like we get deals sent and I'm like, how do I find a buyer? And then I got like, oh, I'm the top investor in this like weird county in Arizona. And then we get a deal there. Like I'm telling you, JV, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah. Right. So it's use social media. And then, the old fashioned way I started out, go to your local RIAs. Guys, it's okay every now and then to actually meet a person. I know we're virtual online. We're making it as simple, as free as we can for you, but every now and then it's good to get out of the house, go connect with people. And as we get back to normal in society, why not? Right?
Yeah, I'm telling you. So next here is Facebook ads. I'm just going to bunch these up together. So Facebook ads, PPC, SEO, we don't recommend them. Remember, Facebook ads, you're running ads. Oh, we buy houses. The ROI is not there for that PPC or SEO. I'm telling you, it's not worth it.
Let me just expand on Facebook ads real quick.
Oh, geez.
The biggest thing people harp on is the cost per lead. Guys, I mean, I guess it's an effective stat if that's your business. I'm not saying Facebook ads don't work. The problem is you all hinge it on the cost per lead. I'm getting it at $8 or $12 per lead. It's just a lead. It's a lead. If the lead costs you $100 or it's $1, it doesn't really mean much until it turns into a contract, in my opinion. So I look at cost per contract or cost per appointment, because cost per lead is, so how do you define a lead? What, they fill out a form and that's it? You're going to go broke on those numbers. And the other problem with Facebook is, remember, when you're on Facebook, you're not like, okay, I'm on Facebook to sell my house, right? You're there to kind of usually take a mental break, kind of judge all your friends and family and figure it out and go, oh, here's an ad. Well, my house is kind of junky. And then even when you get someone that actually has interest, it is a long lead time. And what do I mean by long lead time? It can take up to a year to a year and a half to convert that lead. The
Yeah.
amount of energy it takes, for me, it's not scalable in my opinion, because you're going to have to spend big money to get it. You're basically going to wind up with like an SEO PPC type of thing, which leads us to the next thing on that. You want to expand on that, or?
Yeah, I mean, PPC SEO, pay-per-click is when you have to pay per click of like sell house fast or something like that. The ROI used to be there. It's not there anymore. It's not worth it. SEO, it's actually worth it. I've seen, but the issue is once the algorithm changes, which Google's algorithm changes like every month, you go from like getting all these leads from like getting none.
And Facebook has completely changed how they let you market.
Facebook ads used to be great.
And here's the problem with all of them is when you do them, like you have got to be on point. You cannot be on vacation. You got to have either you do it yourself, which are most people doing on this channel, or you have to hire someone to manage it. And guess what? How many consultants out there say they'll do PPC, SEO, and Facebook ads for you? Everywhere. Because they're a consultant, because you have to pay them regardless of the outcome if you get a deal out of it or not.
I'll say this right now. The people promoting Facebook ads, SEO, and PPC, there is only one type of person I have found really on the internet that actively promotes it. And those are people that will either sell you a course on it or they will sell you a service on doing it. Find me a Facebook ads person that says Facebook ads are great, I do so well in it, and they're not trying to sell you a course. There's probably going to be like 2 out of 500,000, but I'm telling you, the people that are telling you it's great are the ones selling you a course on it. The one that says SEO and PPC are the greatest. Well, do you sell a $4,000 a month consulting package for it? Yes, you do. At the end of the day, if you actually do it, it is not worth it. I'm telling you.
And guys, listen, PPC and SEO, it's not a beginner strategy. So like, let's not even talk about it. The Facebook kind of sexy because people think they can get into it like for $500.
It's a marketing-a-thon. We got to talk about everything.
But like, I'm just telling you, I've experimented with PPC. Dude, somebody clicks a button, $300 goes out of your account.
Yeah.
And here's a little secret. Your competitors do it to you all the time. There's bots that attack you. It's absolutely nuts. And Google constantly bids the word. It goes out for a bid. So sell your house fast. You guys can look it up. There's a lot of tools out there. I'm not going to go into all that. But the thing is, I'm not an expert with it. And then so many of us have relied on, well, I'm going to hire a consultant. I did that for 9 months. My bank account dude, it was just flowing out one way. And we would pick up a deal here and there, but like the ROI, and here's the problem is either you have to become an expert in it and you have to spend money. You spend money, but you have to spend thousands, listen to me, thousands of hours understanding it. It's a whole new world. And guys, you came in this to be real estate investors, wholesalers. I did not get in to become a computer like consultant expert. Then we go, okay, well, I hire a consultant. He or she's an expert on it. The only person you hire goes, show me how many deals you've produced for people.
I agree.
And if you do, I'll consider it. But they never ever come up with it.
They'll cherry pick it. At the end of the day, though, we talk about it because guess what? We usually don't talk about it. And then you're going to see someone in the comments selling a service on it. And you're like, well, I've never heard Zach talk about it. So let's go try it out. They think it's the new innovative thing. We talk about it because it's not worth it. So the next one here is bandit signs. I love bandit signs. Those are those little white signs, right? We buy ugly houses. They're amazing.
So 3 lines only. Try to buy blank signs. Your biggest expense is going to be shipping. And please only write on one side. If you write on 2, they're like transparent. They're getting cheaper and cheaper. And on a sunny day, they can't understand it. So
yeah, we buy ugly houses or we buy houses, put a phone number. I'm telling you right now, you're actually going to do really good. We buy houses cash. That's how I got started in this business. It's a great paper ads. I've seen people go in like the local newspaper, do it. I'm not the biggest fan of it. You know, the coffee shop ads,
I did paper ads, but we would pay.
Well, what year was it? Right? Is this 2022 they're doing it?
No, I'm just filling them in.
I don't want anyone doing paper ads now.
And don't like some people do like the little gazettes, like that little flyer that goes around
that's
town
what I'm talking
businesses, and people don't care. Like I don't think it works anymore. It used to be very clever. It just doesn't work because there's so many. And I did the penny saver. I did the back cover once. I'm not even going to tell you what I paid for it. But I broke even after I busted my butt. I broke even. And they're like, man, you did amazing. I'm like, I broke even. That's not a good return for a wholesaler. So understanding, like, you can pay these big budgets and then you get a deal or two and they're like, isn't that, see, it works. Yeah, but I just paid you $10,000. Okay, you made 12. I'm like, dude, by the time I washed the numbers out, I didn't make any money. So
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's crazy. TV ads, radio ads, I'll put them together. Sometimes they're worth it. For most people, no. I would say unless you're doing 50, 60K a month, I would just get away from that. But they do work.
so so once again, radio ads, my problem is the geographic coverage.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times it's a very broad area. So typically a geographic area covers 75 to 100 miles. So are you like, with us, it's almost 150 to 200 miles.
Yeah.
And then with the age of streaming, it's just not nearly as effective anymore. Listen, it still works. I've done it, but like, you've got to test it. Then you got to figure out how to buy ads. I guarantee someone will sell you a course and show you how to do it. I don't even listen to radio, but like, I'm not your key demographic to buy, but like,
No,
I'm
you're
just
not.
telling you, a lot of people are not, there's just, people still do it, but I don't.
Yeah.
And so here's the problem is it's going to be a broad, to you to get the best radio ads. So anybody who's going to sell you a course on it, you've got to buy in between political campaigns. So they're going to give you like the deadest times and you get it, but they might cover like half a state when they do this. So, okay, are you willing to do a deal 300 miles away? Now you're in the virtual marketing in a territory you're not familiar with. That's when it gets challenging.
I agree. Next part is bail bondsman. I want you to explain this one.
Guys, real simple. Probably should have been up under, not really list, but find your local bail bondsman. For bail bondsmen to bail somebody out of a jail, the number one thing they use to get people out of jail is their house. So they'll record a lien on their house. These are smart people. They put themselves in the first position. Bail bondsmen are brutally smart on value. So don't ever think you're undercutting them. But a lot of times they get houses that they don't like, and you can make them a cash offer. But you better make sure you know how to fund it. You know how to do it. Actually, I took 2 entire years and did this. It was bail bondsmen are like, it's fun business because a lot of times there's a pawn shop attached to it. Sometimes it's a lot of fun, but you got to think about it. If somebody has to raise like $10,000 for bail, how are you going to do it?
Yeah.
So a bail bondsman's creative. You go, listen, I'll post your bond, but you guys are going to sign a $20,000 lien on the house. And if they don't do it, what they'll do is they'll actually foreclose on the house. Ooh. The minute they start foreclosing, I'm going to run to the bail bondsman and try to buy into his position and do it. It's just, I'm just telling you. And remember, we talk about the arrest records. These two tie together. I'm just telling you. I found this out by accident because bail bondsman was foreclosing on a house I was working on, and I had to sit down and educate myself. And boy, was that that was a seminar. So
yeah, I'm telling you right now, they're great. Stickers, door hangers. People buy stickers, they stick them. I'm telling you, it works. It's not the biggest fan. Door hangers, some people preach by that. I've seen people do well. It's only up to you. So next is like, what kind of lists work best for the marketing channels? I've honestly found with the high equity vacants, tired landlords, pre-probates, like the paid lists, cold calling, SMS, direct mail are great. When you're drawing for dollars, cold calling is going to be best for that. Door knocking is its own thing. And then for basically the free lists, cold calling is going to be the one I'd recommend.
Yeah.
So the next kind of part here is like some of the the most common marketing myths we see. I'm telling you right now, probably one of the most common marketing myths is like your marketing has to be super complicated, right? I tell you, if you want success in marketing, keep it simple. Every single time.
Less is more.
Less is more. Keep the list simple like we do. Keep the script simple. Keep the marketing channel simple. You'll have a lot of great success. I'm telling you, when you do not make it simple, that's when you have a problem. Next part is like, how do you implement VAs with your marketing, right? I recommend VAs for your SMS text blasting to go through the texting, not for your acquisitions, pulling your lists, and doing your cold calling. Go through freewholesaling.com. That kind of breaks down our entire like VA thing.
Any type of redundant task that doesn't involve working directly with the seller or the buyer, like in that case, that's mechanical and that can be done like while you're sleeping. That is the perfect time. So if they're putting lists together or anything like that.
So let's break down our top 5 marketing lists. Um, no particular order. Let's kind of break this down. We have probates, drawing for dollars, high equity vacants, tired landlords with equity, and stacked lists. These are lists you combine together. I'm telling you right now, these are hands down the top 5 lists to be pulling today. We kind of break down how to do it. Now let's break down the top 5 marketing channels. This is going to be your cold calling, SMS, direct mail, reverse drawing for dollars, and JVing and networking. I'm telling you, networking is on there. That's the newest thing, I think, in 2022, where there's going to be a lot of great results. Next question here is like, how do you scale up and delegate your marketing? It really depends. For cold calling, SMS, get VAs in there. Drawing for dollars, you can hire like local kids in your neighborhood to do it, local people to go put out bandit signs. It's really having someone do some of the grunt work in marketing for you to delegate it, right?
There's 2 tasks that you should never delegate in the beginning. It's marketing. You've got to understand it and you've got to master it. And to this day, I'm still heavily involved with marketing. It drives them nuts, but
oh my gosh.
It's the blood. So it's the oil in your car. If you do not keep it running, you don't keep it up to date, you're going to have problems. The other one is acquisitions. You guys, outsourcing your acquisitions at the beginning is a huge mistake.
Oh yeah.
You only outsource when you are so full on deals and you are so buried in cash. You've got to train someone because there's a lot of work in bringing in an acquisitions person. And remember, you're giving the highest skill set away and they're never going to be what you are. It takes time to get up to your level.
All right. And then last one is, how often should you be pulling your list?
That's a good one.
I would say monthly at a minimum. For government lists, it should be weekly. Probates are weekly.
I have a confession.
Oh gosh.
No, it's not bad. Marketing.
What?
When I did this, really up to in 4 years prior to today, I'd let a list ride for a year. Then I pushed back to 6 months. Then I pushed back the quarter. Guess how often we do it now?
How much?
Monthly. Okay. But keep in mind, guys, there's certain lists that they're not worth pulling every month. Code violations, sometimes there's just not a lot of change on it. Tax delinquency, guys, that list is like once a year. Like it doesn't change. Once they do is they paid and they get taken off the list on the county. And the other one on vacants, pulling it every month, you're not going to get a lot of change. And definitely don't buy it, but don't use up your 10,000 leads buying the same list over and over, because almost 85% of that list are the exact same names. So we talk about how often to pull it. It's kind of up to you. You'll come up with your protocol, but like a high equity, I do every 30 days. I need updated lists, and properties change hands and it's important. But those other lists we talk about quarterly, and some of them are even yearly, like the tax delinquency.
Oh yeah. But Corey says, Zach, Rick, just left closing on my first deal, got my HUD in hand and cash in the bank, several other deals in the works. Boom. Everyone asks why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely for free. I'm telling you right now.
We're gonna just, things have changed, man. And that we need to change for the times. We talk about all these changes with all these marketing methods and these mediums we use. Why not change how you learn this business? Because I'm all about doing the lives, and I think a lot of these videos are just so beautiful, cut and perfect.
We have those, but
we have those, but it's just, guys, we do it for you. I think wholesaling is a very basic entry level to real estate investing. I taught him when he was high school to make 6 figures. There's no reason you guys can't do it. I stopped coaching a while ago because I noticed a massive change. Somehow the coaching became a more important business than the actual wholesaling.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have made the coaching the business. And I've always focused on what I do best, which is wholesaling, all types of real estate investing. Guys, I just don't do wholesaling. I do it all, but wholesaling is always, this is the one fundamental. If you're going to do creative financing, anything else, short sale flips, landlording, rentals, fix and flips, you have to know how to wholesale. Without wholesaling, you will not get those deep discounted deals. And that's what we're here for. The more people I can share this knowledge with, the more people I can help. We can JV together, and it helps create my legacy. And Zach gets to grow with it and help me expand with it. So
let's get it, guys. I'm telling you, this is why we do what we do. I'm always excited to hear it, guys. That concludes the Marketing-A-thon. I really appreciate it, guys. Go out here, start marketing. I don't know if you have any issues marketing after this, but I'm telling you, always ask questions.
That's a lot of information.
I know. I'll be on here tomorrow talking about everything, so I'm pretty excited about this, guys. So hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys soon. I really appreciate it. Get marketing, and let's get it.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.